Dallas.
Nate, I want you do a very good job. You love the Burgundy and Gold. Have for a long time.
Yes, sir.
I think, I don't know, but I actually think I know exactly where you're going to land on this. Terry McLaurin is not at mini camp. What's your level of concern?
This is a tough one, JP, because I get both sides. I completely see both sides. Let me say this. I think Terry is the best wide receiver in this franchise's history. He's probably my favorite player in franchise history besides Jaden. He's the most consistent wide receiver we've had since the 1970s, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I want him to get paid. He has been through so much with the team, 11 starting quarterbacks. He's been the Dan Snyder era. He has been through it all. He has signed extensions to stay in DC despite everything. That being said, you can't give a guy a contract because of all that. You have to look at age. You have to look at productivity. You have to look at the future. You have to look at the salary cap. You have to look at so many more variables besides how great of a human being and how great of a teammate and all that Terry has been. So I understand both sides of it. That being said, you pay Terry a little more. You give him what he wants because of all that. You do it for the fans. You do it for the culture. You do it for the locker room. You do it for the consistency with Jaden. I think Terry should get over what maybe the front office considers his market value because of all of that. I understand that it's a business and that maybe they don't see it that way, but that's how I see it. And I want him under contract. I want him to be in Washington for life. I want him to win a Super Bowl in Washington. I want him to be a Hall of Famer in Washington. I don't like that this is happening, but I understand why it is.
It's negotiations. And I think this is the thing. Everything you said is absolutely facts and truth. We're not even at that point yet. If they had let him go and then he was going somewhere else, then we're at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, he's not at the first day of minicamp, which 2 years ago, he wasn't at the minicamp then.
3, yeah.
3 years ago, whatever. So he wasn't at the minicamp then. I'm at the point still where nothing has changed for me to even be concerned about it. And I know I sound like dismissive, but I understand everything you're saying.
Yeah.
But that means we're going to have to discuss that again if that were to happen, that he were to be going somewhere else. I don't think he's going.
I don't want to say I'm overly concerned, but we also can't keep kicking the can down the road. We weren't concerned when he wasn't at voluntary camp, in May. We're saying we're not concerned now. What if it's, July and he's still not signed? Are we concerned then? When do we start getting a little concerned?
When you start missing games and training camp,
my concern would be training camp.
Yeah.
If this, so I mean, that's a fair question, Nate. Like when does it change? I think if we get to late July when, it's training camp, it's mandatory, it's the whole team here. You're actually putting your offense in. That's when I would start to be concerned, because if this thing does last that long, then clearly there's a real impasse.
Mm-hmm.
I think right now is not a sign of a real impasse.
Now, here's one thing, JP, that scares me a little, and I have no facts to back this up. I don't know, but it does worry me a little that Terry is not an Adam Peters guy, that he wasn't drafted by him. They don't, besides, being part of the same franchise for the last couple of years, they don't have that long-standing relationship that makes Adam Peters be like, I'm keeping my guy. To Adam Peters, Terry might just be, another number on the spreadsheet that they have to work out. It's different when it's your guy and you have a connection to him. I'm not saying any of this is accurate, but it's something to think about. It's something to consider. Why isn't, the front office more concerned? Maybe they don't have the same level of concern as I might, or someone listening might.
I don't think that's the case, but I mean, sure. If we like to point out that everything is new and different out here, yeah, these guys didn't draft and develop Terry, if you want to call it that. But I think we get too caught up in like all of the we had a guy call in saying that he's a hands catcher and that he was excited about Michael Gallup. Yeah, body catcher, pardon me. And people are like, Jaden can do whatever he wants. Like, it was last season when McLaurin broke a franchise receiving touchdown record. Like, to me, say Adam Peters, Terry McLaurin went to Ohio State. Maybe deep down, Adam Peters' uncle was a Michigan man. Say the two of them don't like each other. This was your most productive receiver last year. Like, at some point, the productivity is what matters. You know what I mean? And I think I don't think there's any bit of the, this isn't necessarily their guy. Like, I don't think that's a thing. But are you really going to take – Jaden threw for what, 28 touchdowns last season, I think? Mm-hmm. I'll pull it up. Just so I have the specific number. Jaden Daniels last season threw for 25 touchdowns. More than half of them went to McLaurin. Do you really want to remove that from the offense? Like, I think we get so caught up in all of these different angles and stuff that it's like, nah, man, this dude is vital to this team. Let's get it done.
I will say one thing surprised me from Commanders fans that I interact with on Twitter, who I think are good fans. They're not, the sky's falling fans. They're not changing the name back fans. They're just good, reasonable Commanders fans. Some of them had concern about Terry not having the breakaway speed. Terry going to be on a 30-year-old receiver come September. I was surprised. Everybody wants him on the team. I was surprised by how
what is breakaway speed? 4.3? He runs that.
I mean, Terry's not a 1,700-yard receiver. He's not a Justin Jefferson. He's the best receiver we've had. But, his receptions have never been over. He had 87 in 2022, and then it's been 77, 77, 79, 82. I know the quarterback play has been dreadful besides last season, but there are fans with legitimate concerns about maybe we don't give Terry the 30 to 35 million a year. Maybe that's just not in the playbook.
Do you think did those fans watch the Lions game in the divisional round when he ran away from everyone?
I'm speaking on half of the fans that I think are good who have concerns about it. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm saying I was surprised by the level-headedness of some people that I was clicking around on to see that they were like, hey, maybe paying him that much isn't the right move. I was kind of surprised to see that.
I mean, there's a million people with a million opinions. Beyond the contract stuff, there has been this weird, like, is Terry a top 10 receiver discussion for some years now? I think the whole thing is kind of silly. I mean, there's 32 teams. Everybody's legitimately playing, I don't know, 3 or 4 wideouts, like significant snaps. And I think trying to decipher a top 10 is an arbitrary number, but like, whatever. I understand the discussion. I think if fans are like actively trying to come up with reasons why they don't think Terry's that good right now, it's just disingenuous. Mm-hmm. Like if it's about like, I don't think he's necessarily worth this money. Like, okay, I think fans get way too caught up in the cash flow situations of teams. Like everybody's mad about Javon Kinlaw, who got paid like a 3rd-tier defensive tackle in free agency. Like that's just what those guys get paid. I don't think it was outrageous. And the other part, Nate, that I've tried to explain is that like this is going to be a contract extension. So whatever the new dollar amount is going to be for 26. And by the time the 26 season rolls around and 3 other wideouts have gotten new deals, Terry's still going to be in the same, like right now, he's not like Terry's never going to be a top 5 paid wide receiver in the league. And I don't think by the time week 1 of 26 starts, he will be either.
I think a huge reason to sign him is you have to keep a number 1 receiver like him under contract while Jaden's in his rookie deal with this team, a season removed from the NFC Championship game. We can talk Super Bowl window and all of that, and the window gets tighter if you don't have Terry McLaurin on your team. And that's I think reason enough to pay him what he wants. Is we saw last year we had no expectations, and then at the trade deadline we're bringing guys in to make a run for the Super Bowl. We should be looking at that window for the next 3-4 years, and Terry should be a part of that window. So I am in favor of keeping him. Obviously, I love him more than I've loved any player ever. But I see, again, to go back to the start of the call, I see both sides. I hope they get this deal done. I'm kind of disappointed that it wasn't already done. I don't like drama with players and front office and agents and all that. We've had enough of that as fans for the last 7 lifetimes. We don't need any more of that. So I want the deal to get done quickly. I want both sides to be happy. I want him in camp, and I want him to have another 1,000-yard season as a Washington Commander.
I think that's the track it's on, honestly. I don't see that changing. I think we're talking early July. This thing gets done, and if there is, dude, are you on contracts up there? The one thing I find kind of silly is people are like, yeah, there's some frustration about trying to get this contract done. Every contract I've ever done has frustration along the way.
Every damn time.
Like that's just how it is. And I just
sign whatever they give me, and I don't argue. I'm just happy to be here, so I can't relate to that.
Sounds like a liar.
Yeah, that doesn't sound true at all.
A little more truth than I'd like to admit.
I don't know. I don't want to. I think the vast majority of fans are like, let's just get this done. I'm not going to worry about it. I don't think you need to worry about it till training camp. If we get to July 24th or whatever the date is, my tone will change if we get there, because there is a real conversation that you do see these things going sideways. Like it happens. Yeah. Now, I don't think it has happened. I personally know the players involved between McLaurin and AP, and they don't strike me as the type where things will go sideways, but I'm not saying it couldn't happen. Mm-hmm. And I think if this gets to camp, because, I mean, just playing it out, if I'm Terry and this thing gets to camp, hell no, I'm not going. Now I don't have any guarantees. I can blow up my Achilles. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just – and things change significantly then. Mm-hmm. And I think – but I remain confident it'll get done.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. I mean – We'll be monitoring it.
I'm going to do myself a favor. I'm not going to go read what people on damn Instagram saying. Or any social damn media.
Yeah, besides that, though, it seems like camp's going well. Lattimore showed up. That's always good. You know, our offensive line's looking built and ready and in shape and ready to go. So I'm optimistic, just like you guys are. I'm excited on June 10th for football season to kind of kick into gear, and we'll be in the regular season before we know it. So besides the whole Terry situation, I'm pretty optimistic about everything.
Like to hear it, Nate Dogg. We got to run here. When do you head to Vegas?
On Friday.
Okay. All right. Safe travels, and we'll talk to you next week from Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right, brother.
Good luck, buddy. Go get him.
Next week. Thank you.
All right, man. That's our guy, Barstool Nate, joining us on the Rude Guest Hotline. You can give Nate Dogg a follow at Barstool Nate.